Hi friends, welcome to Law Teaching Judiciary Goal. University Grants Commission on NET exam, నేషనల్ ఎలిజిబిలిటీ టెస్ట్ ఎగ్జామ్ అంటే జూనియర్ రీసెర్చర్గా కానీ అసిస్టెంట్ ప్రొఫెసర్గా కానీ ఎలిజిబిలిటీ సంపాదించాలి అంటే మనం నెట్ ఎగ్జామ్ క్లియర్ చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. ఇయర్లీ ట్వైస్ ఈ ఎగ్జామ్ కండక్ట్ చేస్తుంది యూజీసీ, డిసెంబర్లో మరియు జూన్లో. సో జూన్లో రాబోయే నెట్ ఎగ్జామ్ సబ్జెక్ట్ మ్యాటర్ లాకి సంబంధించిన సిలబస్ ఇప్పుడు మీకు నేను ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తున్నాను, ఇక్కడ చూపిస్తున్నాను. ఎవరైతే యాస్పిరెంట్స్ ఉన్నారో ఇది సిలబస్ ఫాలో అయ్యి ప్రిపేర్ అవుతారని చెప్పి ఈ వీడియో చేస్తున్నాను. నెట్ ఎగ్జామ్ రాసేవారికి ఈ వీడియో యూస్ అవుతుంది. ఒకసారి సిలబస్ ఏంటో చూద్దాం.
58. UNET I. Jurisprudence. Nature and sources of law. Schools of jurisprudence. Law and morality. Concept of rights and duties. Legal personality. Concepts of property, ownership and possession. Concept of liability. Law, poverty and development. Global justice. Modernism and postmodernism. Unit 2. Constitutional and Administrative Law. Preamble. Fundamental rights and duties, directive principles of state policy. Union and state executive and their interrelationship. Union and state legislature and distribution of legislative powers. Judiciary. Emergency provisions. Temporary, transitional and special provisions in respect of certain states. Election Commission of India. Nature, scope and importance of administrative law. Principle of natural justice. Judicial review of administrative actions, grounds. Unit 3. Public International Law and IHL. International law, definition, nature and basis. Sources of international law. Recognition of states and governments. Nationality, immigrants, refugees and internally displaced persons, IDPs. Extradition and asylum. United Nations and its organs. Settlement of international disputes. World Trade Organization, WTO. International Humanitarian Law, IHL, Conventions and Protocols. Implementation of IHL challenges. Unit 4. Law of Crimes. General principles of criminal liability, actus reus and mens rea, individual and group liability and constructive liability. Stages of crime and inchoate crimes: abetment, criminal conspiracy and attempt. General exceptions. Offenses against human body. Offenses against state and terrorism. Offenses against property. Offenses against women and children. Drug trafficking and counterfeiting. Offenses against public tranquility. Theories and kinds of punishments, compensation to the victims of crime. Unit V. Law of Torts and Consumer Protection. Nature and definition of tort. General principles of tortious liability. General defenses. Specific torts: negligence, nuisance, trespass and defamation. Remoteness of damages. Strict and absolute liability. Tortious liability of the state. The Consumer Protection Act 1986 definitions, consumer rights and redressal mechanism. The Motor Vehicles Act 1988 no fault liability, third party insurance and claims tribunal. The Competition Act 2002 prohibition of certain agreements, abuse of dominant position and regulation of combinations. Unit 6. Commercial law. Essential elements of contract and e-contract. Breach of contract, frustration of contract, void and voidable agreements. Standard form of contract and quasi-contract. Specific contracts: bailment, pledge, indemnity, guarantee and agency. Sale of Goods Act, 1930. Partnership and Limited Liability Partnership. Negotiable Instruments Act, 1881. Company Law, Incorporation of a Company, Prospectus, Shares and Debentures. Company Law, Directors and Meetings. Corporate Social Responsibility. Unit VII, Family Law. Sources and Schools. Marriage and Dissolution of Marriage. Matrimonial Remedies, Divorce and Theories of Divorce. Changing Dimensions of Institution of Marriage, Live-in Relationship. Recognition of Foreign Decrees in India on Marriage and Divorce. Maintenance, Dava and Stridhan. Adoption, Guardianship and Acknowledgement. Succession and Inheritance. Will, Gift and Waif. Uniform Civil Code. Unit 8, Environment and Human Rights Law. Meaning and concept of environment and environmental pollution. International environmental law and UN conferences. Constitutional and legal framework for protection of environment in India. Environmental impact assessment and control of hazardous waste in India. National Green Tribunal. Concept and development of human rights. Universalism and cultural relativism. International Bill of Rights. Group rights: women, children, persons with disabilities, elderly persons, minorities and weaker sections. Protection and enforcement of human rights in India. National Human Rights Commission. National Commission for Minorities, National Commission for Women, National Commission for Scheduled Castes, National Commission for Scheduled Tribes, and National Commission for Backward Classes. Unit 9, Intellectual Property Rights and Information Technology Law. Concept and meaning of intellectual property. Theories of intellectual property. International conventions pertaining to intellectual properties. Copyright and neighboring rights, subject matters, limitations and exceptions, infringement and remedies. Law of patent, patentability, procedure for grant of patent, limitations and exceptions, infringement and remedies. Law of trademark, registration of trademarks, kinds of trademarks, infringement and passing off, remedies. Protection of geographical indications. Biodiversity and traditional knowledge. Information technology law, digital signature and electronic signature, electronic governance, electronic records, and duties of subscribers. Cyber crimes, penalties and adjudication. Unit X, Comparative Public Law and Systems of Governance. Comparative law, relevance, methodology, problems and concerns in comparison. Forms of governments, presidential and parliamentary, unitary and federal. Models of federalism, USA, Canada and India. Rule of law, formal and substantive versions. Separation of powers, India, UK, USA and France. Independence of judiciary, judicial activism and accountability, India, UK and USA. Systems of constitutional review, India, USA, Switzerland and France. Amendment of the Constitution, India, USA and South Africa. Ombudsman, Sweden, UK and India. Open government and right to information, USA, UK and India.